Hey everyone, my name's Adam. This is Off Meta, and I'm joined today by Hat.
What do you mean? You're joined by Hat. We are Hat. We are Off Meta. This is not Adam, the Off Meta show.
Adam and the Off Metas here on stage.
Adam, the Off
Oh,
Meta,
going
and
solo.
his two guests, I guess. I don't know. I mean, I guess he's maybe digging at us because he does all of the video editing and creates all of our Twitch scenes.
And
Most of
thumbnails.
them.
Thumbnails.
Yeah, I'm the photographer, so
I create the thumbnails.
I create them. It's my art.
I also created some of my faces that I made. What are we talking about today? We're talking about the B team.
Dun, 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 dun. Sorry, couldn't resist the A-Team theme.
I pity the fool that interrupts my spiel. We're going to go back to our tier listings, and we obviously elevated everything that was in the S ranking to our script creme de la creme, and then we added some more things from the A tier through the advice of Brittany and Ed and Jack and Capelli, and we moved those things up and Aggie over to the creme de la creme script. But what about those also rans? What about some other good roles that are hanging out there? You know, that middle crop, they deserve their time in the sun. So we're going to make the B team script and see how it runs. I think creme de la creme has been running pretty well. We'll still have more thoughts about the Snake Charmer's continued existence on it, but you know, what are you gonna do? I think we could have the Savant based on our conversation with Capelli. We could have the Savant on both of these scripts.
Well, we're not talking about townsfolk yet. First of all, we're going to talk about demons, and we'll see how many of these we get through before we move on to the other steps. But
you know, I am excited to talk about townsfolk again, though, because I feel like, so I watched the podcast episode that dropped yesterday on YouTube. Kind of a plug. Yeah, go watch it. I feel like we did the mayor dirty. I really do. Should have been S tier. Did not push for that strong enough.
Well, you can always find its place on this little baby right here, even though it might be a little bit too potent for the B team.
I would say the mayor might be too good for this script, but
yes, which is why it should be on creme de la creme. I'm really starting to feel quite strongly about that.
what you're telling me is, Hayley, we need we have the S tier script, creme de la creme. Now we're creating that B tier script, B team, but maybe there will be an actual A team at some point. The mayor can fit on.
It'll be called Mind the Gap between the other two.
Mind the gap.
I like it.
I want to talk about this script for a second. I don't know. We haven't really thought about how we're going to go through this. I don't think we need to explain every character again, but we can. I want to say, looking at what is on C tier for the demons.
I should be reading Trad, I guess. I don't know.
Malarkey said, will you have a B team players play it?
We don't have B team players on Off Meta.
Yes, we do. Capelli will be invited. So, to explain what's happening here, these characters are only from the base tier sets. So it's only from Trouble Brewing, Bad Moon Rising, and Sex and Violets. That is the characters that are in this review that we're doing here. So right now, for the demons, we have the Puka, the Shabaloth, the Nodashi, and the Vigor Mortis made up B tier. But then the C was Zombull and Vortox. I am tempted. How do you feel about having a script that just has two demons on it, being the Zombull and the Vortox?
Oh my god.
That seems miserable.
Oh, would evil ever win with that script?
Well, you'd have a lot of Vortox sinking kills, I guess, for a while, and then hoping that, okay, I will say, no, it's terrible. The synergy between those two demons is awful.
It's literally the worst.
Isn't that what's going to make it work, though?
Yeah, everybody who ever plays is like, I hope I don't draw evil. Oh, fuck, okay.
It's either all your information is wrong, reversed, or that Zombull's in play, right? It's just like, what is it? What is it going to be? Does the Vortox really truly risk not killing every night to make it look like a Zombull?
I mean, you kind of have to.
Basically, every game's a Zombull game because the Vortox has to make it look like a Zombull game, which is just insane. And you personally hate those games that go on longer than they should. This game would absolutely go on longer than it should.
Well, we just give them less time to talk during the day. They're going to have plenty of days to talk.
And you know, that always is a recipe for fun in Clocktower. What are we going to do? Yeah, you can't really speak. Just vote real quick. Let's see what's going on. We'll run some night action.
Yeah, but they're going to get lots of days to talk. They're going to get lots of information. Or maybe not, because who knows what townsfolk will be in play.
I think it would only be any fun is if you said the Vortox's requirement is not fulfilled by executing a corpse. If you told me that was the condition, I might be amenable to it. because then they couldn't just go around and double tap immediately following. They'd have to remember who they were suspicious of as we get later into the game, right? So if the Vortox does string that out for a bit, or the Zombull keeps a world open to where there's maybe a Vortox around for some reason, you'd have to have a lot of minions to support it. We did the Godfather and the Assassin, the Godfather more than anything else. We did the Godfather dirty,
Not dirty.
So it could be an option. You're full of shit. Anyway, I didn't want it on a script with a Baron, but I think the Godfather's a lot better than we ranked it, or Ed ranked it, I guess. I was thinking more of like getting an assortment of poison demons, right? So give you your Puka, your Nodashi, and your Vigors, and let's see how they do. You're talking about the Rejects Club with their C team going from that tier.
I am not going to lie.
That's not even B team.
You know, if you add the Shab into that group of Zombull, Vortox, and Shab, right? You could add that. You could add that and still a fun situation. Like what's going to happen is on day one, Town can't not kill to find out if it's a Zombull or a Shab because the Vortox is in play. So they're going to have to kill someone, and the Shab is going to have to try and hide it some way, shape, or form. It's going to be, so we need something that's going to allow evil to kill at night in addition to hide that it's not a Zombull game.
All right. So you are postulating. I guess we didn't even test the Zombull in our single
no, we did
demons because that was counter to fun.
It was trash. Oh, you say these things in a much nicer way than I do, Tyler.
The Shab got killed on day 2 in 3 consecutive games in which we ran it on that script. I just think it may have been a fluke. I don't know, but it just seemed to happen a lot. The Vortox did well, even when they knew it was the Vortox.
Yep. And the Puka did well when we did that one as well.
Puka kicked a lot of ass.
I really feel like what I'm looking at here is how can we hide the Zombull? That's what I'm looking at in this script. How can we hide the Zombull? And I think between those 3, and like, because knowing the Assassin's coming up and knowing the Godfather's coming up, which is going to potentially give evil extra kills at night, I think we're in a good situation to add the Shabaloth, the Vortox, and the Zombull as the 3 demons for this script. I don't think we need anything else. I don't think we need it.
Honestly, so I think you're doing a thing here, Adam. I feel like the glaring thing here is we could have the Vigor Mortis on the B team script, but that to you would be an admission of a thing that everybody else also agrees with, that the Vigor Mortis is clearly B-level role.
No one agrees with that. Chat, tell him he's wrong.
And even if it won on a B team script, you still would be like, well, of course it did. And if it lost on a B team script, I think your identity would crumble. I don't know. So maybe we just shouldn't risk it. Zombull, Vortox, Shabaloth is what Adam wants to have on the B team script.
It is the epitome of B tier.
It says it's the epitome of C tier.
Oh, yeah, okay. Well, I'm good to call this a C script.
All right.
Oh, is that what's happening? What happened
All
to
at C? I don't know.
We've hijacked this plane of a podcast.
So I need to understand. I don't know, honestly. It feels rough. He has gone rogue. I feel like this whole episode has suddenly gone rogue because are we creating a B team or are we creating what's the opposite of creme de la creme? The
shit sandwich is what the opposite of creme de la creme is.
And that's what we were creating, right? I mean, I know we called it the B
bottom
team.
of the barrel.
I know we called it the B team, but we weren't trying to create them just out of B characters, right?
I think you'll end up with a lot of things that people don't find very fun, but we'll see how that goes.
There is no bad character in Blood on the Clocktower, right? There is no bad character apart from
You are consenting now
The artist.
in front of you're consenting now in front of your wife, God, the country, the president of these United States, that you are designing by choice another Zombull mastermind game.
I do think we need to have a talk about the mastermind, right? If we're ready to move on and talk about that. I'm gonna leave the 3 up there that we're currently proposing just for a second, and let's talk about minions.
By we, you mean you.
That we have come to an agreement on. I'm gonna leave them up there for just a second, and let's talk about the minions and see what would go well with them, what we think would work with them. So if you look at that Zombull game right now, right? There are 3 minions there right now that help hide the Zombull.
You're going to want the Godfather and the Assassin.
And the Pit Hack. Pit Hack starts creating other demons.
Yeah, nothing is better for a demon that sucks other than being turned into another demon.
Demon that sucks.
That's what we've learned about some of the other criticisms of D. Well, you could always turn it into this. Well, then it's not the thing that I said I hated. So yes, good point. Well done. Touche.
Oh, jeez.
So let's look at these minions.
Yes, if you want to take a bad demon and make it a good demon, you could put a pit hag in the script and then it would hide
At the
it.
end of the day, I'm saying we have 3 bad demons, but the pit hag will hide the Shabaloth, will hide the Zombull, and could also now have thrown it into a Vortox game, which is still going to just mess with Town. I don't think Town, by doing it this way, is going to truly be able to figure out what demon is in play when, if we have it be these 3 minions plus whichever of the other ones you want to do.
Is it solvable? Is it, because there are the solvers out there. Will they be able to figure it out?
Who knows?
Could that be could that be adding to the unfun?
Well, we don't know what the townsfolk are going to be like, right? A lot of our B tier roles were functionaries, right? So they had abilities that were not like we put all the learn a bunch of shit about demons in the A and the S tier. So you're going to get a lot of like first night roles, soldier, yeah,
pacifist.
Yeah.
I mean, look. That's without a devil's advocate.
Yeah, it's gonna. I think
Pacifist is gonna be the star of the show.
I'm really looking forward to. I know we're not there to talk about it yet, but I'm really looking forward to having Pacifist on this script for you, Tyler. I'm really looking forward to it.
I know some of the World Cup games got marred by my audio issues. There was a game with a pacifist and there was a leech, right? But the pacifist is still very powerful because even if you protected the host with it, right? That's still just, I mean, I don't know.
If you protect the host with it, you're a douchebag, Ty. You're an absolute giant douchebag if you protect the leach host with the pacifist from an execution.
And to that point, Malarkey
on day 1 or day 2, is that what you're saying?
Sure.
If they just randomly snipe the host, you're not going to protect them with the
Absolutely not.
Okay.
Well,
then I'm a douchebag. That's fine with me.
Did you do that? And I didn't see that?
No, but I would do it.
I don't think that, like, we are changing the conversation here. I don't think that would be fair. And it's also, I think when we talked about the pacifist.
You don't think it would be fair?
Yeah, I don't think it'd be fair. Because what's Town going to have to, Town is going to have to double tap that player at some point, and they're going to have to figure out
I guarantee you, if you were pulling those tokens around and doodads and flippy switches on the production side, you'd have been like, we got to protect that host, Bubba. And I'd be like, but Adam, what about fairness? It's day 1. They randomly snipe the host. Shouldn't we go along with it?
I mean, true.
Yes, I know it's true. But thank you very much.
But that is our problem, and we should have made that a player
I would
problem.
like everybody at home on their chalkboard where they have off-meta arguments and their little tick marks. I want you to put one in my column. Thank you very much. I don't care how many. I don't know how many they've listed before, but I got one now. Yeah, I guess if you were going to go with this not mutually accepted list of demons, you would want some killing power. That's the Shabaloth Zombull dynamic in BMR. So you're doing a lot of like bringing stuff over from BMR and then adding the pit hag as the escape hatch.
Are we going to approach this like we did with Creme de la Creme, where we took everything from S and then was selective from A? Or so are we taking everything from C and then being selective from B? Or are we just choosing across the board?
I guess so.
Exactly.
I guess we're going to have ourselves a Mastermind Evil Twin script according to Adam's standard.
I'm fucking not. I'm not.
Okay. Oh, wait. Wait, so we're not following the rules. Great. So let's go back to the demons.
I don't want to mastermind Zombull script. Like, let's be clear. I think we need to just together right now, no matter what happens, we need to come together and agree we will not do that to our players.
So we are breaking the rules.
It's new rules.
Yes.
New rules.
Okay. So our bottom of
He's Bill Maher now. He's got that silver fox look. He's Bill Maher.
That we choose across the whole range of B and C for our bottom of the barrel script. I mean, I'm surprised that you don't want to put the vigor in it, Adam.
Feels to me like I see a lot of scripts with like Vigor Mortis, no Dashi, Pukas type things happening.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that is as much fun and as different as we would be by creating a Shabaloth Vortox Zombull game. I think that is very different from anything I've ever done, anything I've ever seen anyone else do, and there's probably a reason for it. But I think we are good enough to be able to pull off a game and make it fun for our players by having those demons in there. Let me phrase it. I think I'm good enough.
Oh my gosh.
No, I'm joking. I think we're good enough. Seriously, no. I think it could be interesting. It could be fun. We'd have to keep the games snappy so they can't figure out it's a Vortox, a Zombull game, right? We need to keep those games picking up along because otherwise, if they go, well, they've just let us have 10 minutes on day 1, it's clearly not a fucking Zombull game. Do you know what I mean? Like, I think we'll need to run it a little differently. I don't know. if I'm looking at what is the worst things on this script, I think of those 6, they would be my bottom 3.
All right. Well, let's keep them. I think that's convincing.
I agree.
Yeah, I think the Puka owns too much. And even though nobody wants to admit it. No Dashi in a small game in a 9-player game did really well too.
Figure Mortis won one and got to final 3 in another. Just saying. I know the Vortox has done really well, but anyway.
One minion, of course, in a 9-player setup, those 3 demons, 1 minion, Evil Twin, I'm going to call it. It would be very difficult. It would be very difficult for Evil to win with a known Evil Twin. That whole, like, what's the dynamic of the minion stuff, right? Or what the demon is. With them not being able to control any kills and it being like, well, I'm the good twin. Adam's my evil twin, right? You could go all the B tier for the minions.
Don't think that's a bad idea. I don't think that's necessarily a bad idea.
Especially as I want to see a poisoner on a script, but maybe I'd want to see a poisoner on a Maya script, actually.
I was going to say, technically, we do have room because we've only got 1 demon that we could put 5 minions on here if we wanted. So we could still put that evil twin on here and maybe later on have to make that decision if we want to swap it out, depending on what the outsider and townsfolk are, you know? But we could do that if we wanted to.
If we do that, we don't have any room for the Mind the Gap script of my mayor.
We can put a mayor on this one.
No.
I am not trying to own this conversation. I'm just telling you from when I was putting together the images so that we could look through these, this is what jumped out to me as an option.
If you don't have the Vortox in play, you have no misinformation without the poisoner. So I would just assume keep it. And if you get a Vortox poisoner game, it's okay. Not the end of the world. Minion can still, not as effective, but they can do some stuff.
I'm just going to turn off Mastermind from the view because we don't need to talk about that one, right? We're in agreement that that's gone?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So I'm just going to move the evil twin up to the B line just so we can figure it out between them.
I just don't think the evil twin suits our 9-player setups incredibly well. There's a stronger advantage in a 9-player game for the good twin to come out immediately because then that rules out a lot of different worlds.
I am okay with turning off the evil twin on this as well. I haven't thought through enough to see if there would be a fun world where an evil twin would exist out there, but I don't think evil twin Zombull will be fun.
It would be hard to tell whether or not you need to go for the twins on a given day with the Zombull. That is a ploy. Now, I will say that is interesting with Zombull and Vortox and Evil Twin. That is a ploy. So if Good wanted to figure out, like, well, we haven't had deaths at night and we've been executing.
Let's leave it there for now, because like I said before, we can always remove it if we need to, right? An extra outsider would be more fun. Speaking of which, should we take a look at the outsiders?
Yeah, let's take a look at them.
Oof.
I do.
You know,
Lunatic's got to go up, I think.
I'm good with Lunatic. I'm also good with Tinker. I think Tinker will help potentially hide the night deaths. So I think Tinker's a good one for this script.
Mutant is probably better for the evil team than most people than Jack wanted to give it credit for. Because I know what he's banking that off of is storytellers running it sometimes as a virgin, essentially. I'm the mutant or I'm the this, and then they explode sometimes. But the mutant can be a very good hidden outsider. Sweetheart can add some drunkenness to the game. I would say Lunatic, Tinker, Mutant, Sweetheart. Of those 6, yeah, those would be the ones that would benefit the evil team the most, which was kind of Jack's criteria.
Which one's Moonchild? Moonchild is the one you select to play, and if they're good, they die at night. Wouldn't that help hide the kills at night, though?
It could, but a lot of times you see it end up being where the evil team is forced to try to protect the virtue of their evil teammate. It's like, well, I got to kill him because, if you had a Moonchild and Evil Twin game, that kind of sucks. It sucks a lot. They either pick the good twin and they die at night, or they pick the evil twin and they don't die.
I think this is another one of those that I think we need to add them both and see what the townsfolk ends up as. What's going to be worth drunking versus what's potentially going to be worth dying at night, right? The soldier is safe from the demon, but if a Moonchild picks them, could still get rid of them. The Sweetheart's the one I'm not sure about if it's Sweetheart or Moonchild. I agree with your other choices. Butler is almost the same category for Mastermind for me right now. I know it's Ben's third favorite thing to be in the game, but I don't think it's a lot of fun on a 9-player script, on a 9-player game.
Well, Ben Burns doesn't play with us very much, so what are you going to do?
Yeah. So we don't need to make decisions for Ben, right?
If he committed to playing more games on off meta, I guess we could take his opinion more into consideration.
The only problem I see right now is if we do this, we have finished this discussion in 38 minutes.
Well, let's equivocate then and be full of shit if that's what you want to do. Okay, so the Moonchild in a 9-player game is more threatening to town than it would be in another format because, well, it's the same reason that the, things like the Acrobat, I think, are viewed as outsiders by by Steven and less so by the player community. But because I think the player community tends to play bigger games than maybe they play in Australia. Play with the Australian folks. They talk a lot about teensyvilles and stuff, and people in the States don't do as much of that, or people in the UK don't do as much of that.
That is a 2 o'clock in the morning situation. We only got 6 players left. Let's play some Teensyville. That's end of the night stuff, or maybe sometimes beginning of it, I guess.
Yeah. If you want to switch out the Sweetheart for the Moonchild, I wouldn't be upset about it. I just think the Moonchild is a pretty. There's the old joke that if the Pacifist is the outsider on the fourth outsider on BMR, Moonchild is the 13th townsfolk.
Well, I think we're going to have a Pacifist on this script, so I'm okay to flip them around if you want.
Pacifist is going to be badass on this script.
So what do we think about then the outsiders? We're going to remove Butler, right? I'm going to turn off Butler. Unless, Hayley, you're going to fight for Butler as it's TB?
No, sorry. I love TB, but it could really use not a butler.
A different
outsider.
If you want to have a prolonged conversation about the only role in the game that is broken, full stop, it is the butler. It even says in the text that you can't enforce whether or not they do the thing.
Where was I playing? Oh, I was playing on Sundays, the new and improved team that are running the Sunday streams.
Yeah, I got you.
I was playing with those guys. No, I was playing in the first
They needed
game.
like 6 people to replace me and Capelli. I got it.
That's okay. They needed 2 to replace me, Tyler. So,
I know, yeah. They didn't trust me is what it was. You know what I mean? I was like, hey, I'll be happy to have. We need to get him a babysitter. Where is he? Find me somebody with good hair. He's in charge.
I was playing on that game as the butler, and the person next to me, I can't remember who it was, lowered their hand. It was Chris from the New York group. Lowered their hand at the last second. I was like, you motherfucker, I've now got to put my hand. I didn't get to it in time. And I was waiting for Kohav to come and tell me off, but thankfully Kohav didn't. I'm like, that was it. I cheated. I'm not going to risk voting it now. Chris is doing a Richie and raising and lowering his hand all the time.
Thought y'all trained him better back than that up there, right?
No.
I like playing with Richie.
I like playing with Richie too.
Chris plays with us in person a lot, and so it is much easier and more obvious and like kind of slower to do this than it is to click a button. So it is actually kind of a thing that I think happens more in person than online.
I'm hovering. That's what they should have to say. I'm hovering. I got my finger on the button.
Yeah.
So I think this is a good first session talking about the B team. What's the opposite of cream? The cheese of the cheese? Do we call this the Parmesan? Like, I don't know. What do we call it?
I said the bottom of the barrel because if the milk is in the barrel and the creme de la creme is on the top.
All right, bottom of the barrel it is.
We did say
my brothers didn't want to share their drinks with me when I was a kid because they were like, "You're gonna give me that backwash." This is kind of what that is. This is backwash.
Backwash. Oh man.
Oh man.
So gross.
I gotta say, backwash might be better.
I was a little kid.
Yeah.
I was a little kid.
No, but we can't give it a mean name like that. I think B Team is fine. Like, there's saying some negative things about the game that we don't actually believe.
Well, bottom of the barrel ain't
I know.
I don't either.
No, I don't think we should go with that either.
So let's name it after cheese. Let's name it after cheese. Tam, chat, what do you think? Name it after cheese? What's the...
I mean, you could just call it like cheese curds because it's the seed.
American processed cheese.
The leftovers. See, that's not nice enough, Gavin. Be
cheese
nice.
Cheese curds can be delicious in poutine, but would you choose them on their own normally? Without like all of the extra stuff you add to make it into actual cheese? Okay.
Cheese curds. If you think that is a great name for a script, Hayley, we will go with it. All right, cool. So continuing on then, chat, what do we think?
Haggis, you either love it or hate it.
You either love it or you hate it. Marmite's good. And Marmite...
Black pudding.
In the South, I guess that version is a pickled pig ear.
Pickled fucking pig ear? What are you...
You never seen that?
Oh, no. The Brie Team! Why did we
Brie
not think
Team.
of that?
That's funny.
Oh, that's
I
brilliant.
love that. I do love that.